Hey, everybody. It's time for LinkedIn Live. I'm John Kormanik. I coach law firm founders through the identity shift required for their next level. Today, we're going to be talking about the one question that so many law firm founders and managing partners fail to ask, and that is, who do they have to become to make what they want possible? As always, 25 minutes. Let's dive right in. The founders, 5-stage founders evolution. So decoupling your identity from the practice, right? That's what we're talking about today. Couple things that are very important. Number one, this is not a tactics session. If you're here for tactics or hacks or anything like that, just stop. Don't invest your time here. This is about much more than that, something that is much more important than that. It is about reflection and introspection. Today is all about the limiter beneath strategy. I was on a call just yesterday with a client. They were talking about strategy. And finally I said, what makes you think you're going to be successful in the strategy if you don't recognize what's going on internally? If you don't understand who you have to become, how you have to change in order to make those strategies fruitful, to make them effective, to make them something that you'll stick with. What? I don't understand. Today is all about reflection and not instruction. It's going to be hard work if you play full out, and I hope that you do. Most founders, so when I say founder, I'm talking about law firm founders who are at the point now where things are likely to change. They don't stall. It's not like they're stuck. The clients that I work with and the lawyers in this space are not stuck. They have plateaued, right? It is not failure that is holding them back. It's not a lack of knowledge that is holding them back. It is something quite different. Most founders don't stall, they plateau. Now, revenue can grow over time. Oh, my law firm's doing great. Revenue's grown year over year for the last 5 years, or for the last 10 years, or however many years. And the leverage that they feel and the work that they do subtly changes, and the leverage quietly disappears, right? This plateau happens because you're successful, not in spite of it, or not because you're stuck or you're unsuccessful in some way, shape, or form. This plateau happens exactly because you're successful, up until a point. That's what we're talking about today. The plateau is not an execution issue. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's not that you're not doing what you think you ought to be doing. It's not an execution problem. You're not hiding from the heart. It's not a problem with human capital or technology. Not something that a new tech fix or tech platform is going to solve. A new tech platform may feel good in the moment, but it's not going to solve it. It's not something that human capital will solve. A new hire is not going to solve this thing. It's not going to get you and your business past the plateau. Those things may feel good because they feel productive, but they're not going to get you past the plateau. This is it. This is where the work is. This is where the Plateau is overcome and continued growth occurs. This is it. Most people, successful people, will lean into a system. What is a new system that we can develop? Super comfortable, because that's where you've been. You've built systems over time that have resulted in success. Where's another place that I can leverage human capital, a new hire, whether that's near shore or offshore? What's the new hire? That's where a lot of default questions are asked. Founders ask that. What's a metric? What's another KPI that we can mention to move this forward? What's a metric? These are all things that founders have been successful at leveraging over time. It is why their firms are successful. It's why they are where they are. And so, of course, we go back to those things, those areas, systems, human capital, metrics to measure. Of course, we go there because it's comfortable and we've been successful with it in the past. But those questions now matter, but only after you ask this question: who do I have to become to make what I want possible? I will, if you've heard me talk or you've seen my writing, you know that this is a question that is essential and it's avoided because we think that we're great. Well, look, I'm successful already. What do you mean, who do I have to become to make what I want possible? It's just a matter of working harder. It's just a matter of doing more. It's just a matter of measuring something different. It's a matter of systems. It's a matter of people. All of those things are external. And those things matter, but they only matter after this question is asked and answered. I say that because I believe this to be true. If you were already the type of person who could have the thing that you say you want, you would already have it. You'd already have it. That's the thing, right? And you don't. So, how do you need to change? Who do you have to become to make what you want possible, to make the law firm that you want possible, to make the life that you want to have possible, to make the impact that you want to have in the world possible? How do you need to change? How do you need to evolve as a person? Roles evolve faster and easier than identity. Let's talk about this, right? If you are a founder who started as a solo, you're kind of like a pizza joint in my former home base of Boise, Idaho, Flying Pie Pizza on Fairview Avenue. If you're ever in Boise, go. The building is quite unique because they've just added on over time. And as you walk through it, you can see they actually have, this part added in 1979 and this expanded in 1982. Flying Pie's been around for a while, folks. They have a really good pizza. But that's who you are. And you can tell that the bits and bobs and the pieces have been added on out of need, not out of any particular plan. And so your firm has changed, right? You started it as a solo and then you hired somebody, whether it was an answering service or your first admin or your first associate or whatever, right? You've added on, or technology or what, right? Those things you've added on. Your firm has changed over time. Your role has changed over time. First, you were the Danny do it all, right? You did everything. from the books, if on QuickBooks or on a spreadsheet or on a yellow pad, whatever, however you started, right? And you did the marketing and you did the networking and you did the lawyer work, you did it all. And then you added human capital and you added technology, and your role changed from the doer to the rainmaker, meaning that I have things happen in my law firm that I want to have happen. I'm more of a leader or manager. And so those have changed over time. But your identity, who you are, has that changed? Let me ask you, when you introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself? Is that your identity? Your self-image hasn't changed. I promise you, and I know this because of the people that I've coached over the years, and because I experienced it and experience it today myself, self-image doesn't change. You still have that solo running around in your head. You still have the person there. They are still there. And every once in a while, they chirp up. You could do that better. It's just easier if you do it. It's not going to take that much time. It's just easier if you do it. Your self-image hasn't changed from the doer. So what does this mean? You are over-involved. To put it kindly, you get in the way. You get in the way. As a client of mine took to heart and started sharing with his colleagues, you are the bottleneck. You are over-involved. What's the result? Decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is real. It rears its head in various forms in your business. You just get tired of making decisions, and your decision-making prowess reduces over time because of overload, and you don't make quality decisions at the level that you want to make them as time goes on because of your over-involvement. And the pressure feels really personal, doesn't it? It feels like I should be figuring this out. I'm good at this. I've grown to this point. I have grown my business to this point. I should be able to figure it out. It's okay. It's okay. Because you can't. You can't figure it out on your own. This is not a motivation issue. Yes, you do hard things. Yes, you are motivated. Yes, you are passionate. Maybe not as passionate as you were. Maybe you think you ought to be passionate. This thing, the plateau and the identity shift, it's not a motivation issue. It's a misalignment. That over-involvement, that decision fatigue, that pressure that feels personal, that's just a misalignment between who your law firm needs you to be for the next level and who you are today. It's a misalignment. And it's totally natural. You're not the only one who experiences it. Every high-performing, successful solo who wants something different now for their firm experiences it. So if you're new to my work, I want you to know this, the founder's evolution, it's not a personality model, and it's not a scorecard. This is just my observation, both of myself when I was in the legal space, when I practiced law for 25 years and I led that successful law firm for 16. This is what I saw, both for myself and my colleagues, my compatriots. And it's what I've observed by working with founders over time. How identity shifts as firms grow. Your identity must shift. Who you are must change, must evolve over time. The first one is the technician. I do the work. And if you started out as a solo, you did it all. Right? I coach someone who recalls answering the phone in the middle of the night, and now they are the leader of a world-class, multiple seven-figure law firm in the Mid-Atlantic states. Technician, I do the work. Next is rainmaker. It's not necessarily rainmaker as it's used in the legal sphere, in the legal lexicon, where you go out and you get clients. It is part of that too. But the rainmaker is the person who drives the outcomes of the firm. Okay, I'm going to set the targets and I'm going to drive the outcome. The third step in the founder's evolution is the operator. I hold it all together. I am the hub of the wheel that is my law firm. I'm at its center. Everything flows through me. I hold it together. Number 4 is the architect. I'm a systems guy. I'm a systems guy, and I love to build the systems. I design the systems. I look at the KPIs. I look at the market. These are the things that I love playing in. That's where it gets dangerous if you love playing in the systems, because they say systems are the key, whoever they are. They're not wrong, but systems without identity shift and personal evolution will not lead you to where you think they will lead you. And finally, the founder with strategic distance. This means that the firm works without your constant presence. Unless and until you get to this part, this step, the founder with strategic distance, you have a job. You've bought yourself a job with all the pressure that comes with it because you are the owner, right? That's what happens. Now, most founders here and who I work with are somewhere between operator at the hub, I hold it together, and architect. Many founders assume that architect is the destination because it sounds like, tell me if you've heard this before, I'm finally working on my firm, not in my firm. Don't get me wrong, architecture is critical. That is a critical stage. It's where the firm starts to change structurally, right? And if an architect requires your constant presence, if that role requires your constant presence, it's not architecture yet. It's just a better version of being an operator. It feels different. You may be proud of it. Kudos to you, but it's the same thing. It's just a better version of operator. It's a different way of looking at it, of being an operator, right? If your continued presence is required. It is not, an architect is not the end state. Stage 5 is that founder with strategic difference. Your law firm can run without you. It's important. This is an important point. This isn't about disengagement. It's not about being the absent person. It's about design. It's about intentionality. And it's about how you define what work is for you as the founder with strategic distance. You ought not be rolling up your sleeves and in it. That's not where it's at for you to get past the plateau. The operator is a trap. It is a trap that feels really good. Look, I'm highly capable. I am, I've practiced law. I know what I'm doing. I'm really good in this area. I'm deeply involved. The clients need me. As a matter of fact, I am indispensable to how this show runs. That's a trap. That means that the firm works because of you. And that's the issue. That's the driver and the reason for the plateau that you're at right now. If you're stuck between operator and architect, and you really know that you need to get to that, I have strategic distance in my law firm. It's again, it's having a job. It's competence without freedom. It's responsibility without leverage. Again, if you work with me or you hear me talk at all, I'm a big fan of going to work at the local grocery store, right? In Boise, my old home base, there's a Trader Joe's. I'd go work at the Trader Joe's if I didn't have that strategic distance from my coaching business and from the law firm that I grew and led. I had strategic distance. It's responsibility without leverage. And that sounds really good because it feels like we're doing things. It feels like we're really important. Here to tell you you're more important in that strategic distance space. Here's the shift. Now, this slide is not about jumping to the end. We don't jump to the end because you gotta do the work. It is about the hardest move most founders make, and that's loosening that operator identity. Operator to architect is not about working less. That's the space that we're talking about right now. It's not about working less. It's about doing things differently. It's about shifting from doing to designing. It is thinking about your business, right? I used that catchphrase before, working on your business instead of in your business. What does that really mean? That means that the work is thinking. What does next look like for us? And what does that require of me? It's about shifting from doing to designing, from presence to structure. No, you don't come to me with that, even though I can solve it. Or what questions do you have for me? What support do you need? I had this conversation with a client last week. Instead of asking, how can I support you, which keeps you involved, ask, what support do you need? What does support look like? And who in the organization can support you for that? It moves from effort to alignment. It feels more natural. And this is where identity decoupling actually begins. Your law firm, you know this. Your law firm is a separate entity from you under the law. It needs to be a separate entity from you, period, right? And so that's where the decoupling begins. I'm a CEO. I'm not a lawyer. I own a law firm. It's what I do. I empower my team for success, however you talk about it, right? Strategic distance only becomes possible after that shift. It only becomes possible if you are not your law firm. So the audit, here's where you can do some work in real time. If you're watching now, and there are hundreds of you watching now, or as you watch the replay, who do I need to become to make what I want next possible? It's not about strategy. It's not about systems. It's not about human capital. It's not about the next hire. It is about your identity, right? So identity, who are you? The second, energy. How do I show up when things don't go according to plan? Under pressure, do I default to force, control, avoidance, settling? Oh, there's a catabolic. How quickly do I recognize that catabolic space, my energetic stress reaction in the energy leadership context? How fast do I return to my baseline? How fast do I get out of my stress response? This is not about unbridled positivity. It's not about, oh, everything's all good always. That's not it. It is about how much strategic capacity you maintain when you're under pressure. And the third place to audit. So we have identity, we have energy. The third critical place to audit is passion. What am I still deeply committed to that gives my work meaning? Ambition drives outcomes. Passion sustains effort over time. Passion is part of the grit formula. Grit, passion plus perseverance over time to achieve a result. Without passion, it's just a grind. It's not grit. So here are some questions that you can ask yourself. Where am I still needed that shouldn't require me? Where am I confusing involvement with leadership? And finally, and perhaps the hardest question of all, what identity am I protecting that no longer serves me or my law firm? Awareness always comes before change. Don't rush past these questions. Find the answers. Invest your time in finding the answers to these questions. You don't need to do more. You need to become different. There's your takeaway from today. This is the work I do with founders of law firms who have plateaued, and they are truly ready to do the work required on themselves to get to the next level. I do this privately. I do it only one-on-one, and we talk about identity, energy, passion, and leadership evolution. If today resonated with you, pay attention to that. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for investing your time. Do the work, and I will see you next month. Be well.